5 Japanese legends that were too complex for their own good.
Most of us love old Japanese performance cars because many were incredibly advanced while being amazingly accessible. They were working class heroes and possessed every ingredient necessary to make them as cool as penguin feet. But despite all that, these Japanese legends didn't last long, so here's a rundown of all the cars that were killed off for being too advanced.
Mitsubishi GTO. The GTO was a true tech fest. Powered by a 3-litre V6 with 24 valves and the option of 2 turbochargers, it was packed with advanced technology. All-wheel drive, 4-wheel steering, active aerodynamics and electronically controlled suspension were among its mind-boggling innovations. Contemporary tests found it to be way quicker in a straight line than the twin-turbo Mazda RX-7 and Nissan 300ZX. But all that technology was expensive to produce and prices were going up fast.
Sports car sales slowed down considerably in the 1990s, and as a result, after 8 years and only 2 minor facelifts, the GTO was abandoned.
Nissan 300ZX.
Since I've mentioned the 300ZX, let's go into a bit more detail.
Nissan designed the original Z31 in the very early 1980s to succeed the 280ZX. It bore Japan's first mass-produced V6 with as much as 222 brake horsepower without turbos. It was a great Japanese sports car in its time, but the Z32 brought the real tech. Hydraulically actuated rear-wheel steering was among the headlines. Variable valve timing had become standard on the 3-litre V6, while twin-turbo models got dual intercoolers and a pair of advanced Garrett turbochargers. The Z32 was designed with the help of the Cray 2 supercomputer, via an early form of computer-aided design technology, a seriously advanced touch, but the ZX was killed by unhelpful exchange rates and spiraling production costs. Subaru XT.
The Subaru XT is one of those cars that often flies below the radar, possibly because so few remain in running order.
Built for just 7 years and 1 generation, it was available with front or 4-wheel drive. A triumph of angular 1980s design trends, it was Subaru's first non-utility car and came fitted with a 2.7-litre flat 6 that forced the Japanese authorities to classify it as a luxury car in a much higher tax bracket. Inside, it had an instrument binnacle that moved with the steering column, a button for on-demand 4-wheel drive, a joystick-shaped gear lever because video games, and a 3D imitation LCD display with orange backlighting. The air suspension was height adjustable, which was an incredible feature on a car this small.
Subaru unfortunately chickened out the 2nd generation XT, pluming instead for the US-targeted SVX, more of which later.
Mazda Cosmo.
The final Mazda to wear the Cosmo name doesn't need much explanation as to why it was too complicated.
Built not just with a twin-rotor Wankel engine, it also offered a 3-rotor unit. Naturally, both were twin-turbocharged and disgustingly expensive to maintain versus the smaller, more efficient and cheaper cars emerging at the time. The Series JC... no, not that one, lasted 7 production years, during which it was sold on its technological prowess. It had a color touchscreen with climate functions, mobile phone connectivity, GPS-based navigation, TV channels, and more.
This was, as a reminder, 1990 when I was 5 years old. The damn thing was about 20 years ahead of its time, but expensive. Fewer than 8,900 were sold, and the Cosmo was axed.
Subaru SVX. Our second overcomplicated Subaru is the SVX. It was Subaru's first major sports assault on America, but while the ingredients were promising, like a 3.3-litre flat 6 for starters, the overall package was a dim-witted and blandly designed GT that barely had the charisma to get out of bed. Its one totally unnecessary feature of note was a split-window arrangement pointlessly mimicking a race car or one with gull-wing doors. But comfort was a priority, and the 4-speed automatic delivered on that, as did 8-way adjustable electrical seats. Stability was assured by one of 2 all-wheel drive systems. The first was a variable setup that sent 90% of the torque to the front wheels until they started to slip, which was sold in North America, France, Germany, and Switzerland. While the second system, a permanent 36-64% front-rear split, was available in the UK, Japan, and other European markets.
Japanese versions got 4-wheel steering as well, but all of this technology pushed prices so high that nobody was buying them. And for that reason, bye-bye SVX! And that now concludes my list of Japanese legends that were too complex for their own good. I hope you guys have learned something new, and if you have, then make sure you stick around by subscribing, and you can check out more Car Throttle vids over there. Until next week, stay safe. See you soon. Bye!